because I thought I was worth getting stronger. And over the last 10 years, I've just felt myself getting weaker and weaker. And I thought that joining O2 Fuel would give me that energy and exercise just to be moving. And so that's why I joined. I used to play. Everything I did, I played. Everything was a competition, whether it was work, no matter what I did, whatever activities I did, I did it in a playful mode. And I had lost that. I realized that coming back here in the last 18 months, I've slowly started to play again, play volleyball, play soccer. I've lost the fear of injuring myself again. I feel like I'm getting stronger. So yeah, the underlying is I love to play, and I feel like I can do that again. I had a moment when I lived in Mexico for 5 years that just struck fear to my soul. From that moment on, I couldn't get out of that mindset. I got to that point in Mexico because I was playing hard and living right on the edge of life. From that moment in November of 2012, I had lost my game. I had lost my play. I didn't have any interest in playing anymore because it took me so close to the edge of a precipice that I didn't, like, that was really scary. I was driving a van, a 17 passenger van, and we were having a great time. There was 24 people in the van. The governor shut off. We were doing 110 miles an hour. I was driving and trying to catch up. And something just, when that governor shut the van off, I couldn't play anymore. I just lost my play. And so then I was like, life is, like, it just got real serious. And I lost the fun of life. Nothing happened. I slowed down, let everybody else go way ahead. But inside me, something died. I'm slowly getting who I was back again. It was that moment that I lost my play, where everything in life was just fun. And I felt like I call it a mature moment, but I think it was more of a fear moment. And I'd like to get the attitude I had back that I had prior to that moment, but it's taken me a long time to find. Moved to Mexico to do what I was passionate about, which is playing with kids and teaching them the Bible. And I did that. I sold the chip trucks, moved down there with no comeback date. I loved it for the first 2.5 years. Morning, I would have a group of kids, and I would teach them. I would sing with them, teach them Bible verses, teach them a Bible lesson, and then we would have a healthy snack, and then we would play soccer for 2 hours, and then they'd go to school in the afternoon. That was my passion, is kids, teaching them the Bible, and playing. 2018, I fell, straight arm, put a small tear in my rotator cuff. I live in extreme pain. By the time they did the surgery, I couldn't even move my arm. Prior to O2 Fuel, I was literally just survived, and I didn't know if I was ever going to get my play back. So it was that moment in Mexico, and then in August of 2018, I fell again, and that was the second blow. And so yeah, a day before O2 Fuel, I just lived in fear of injuring it again. I lived in fear of doing anything outside, walking in a straight line, lest something else happened. So it was awful. I was so depressed. I had definitely turned to alcohol as a Band-Aid to try and to quiet myself. Every night after work, I'd come home and drink. It didn't matter what. I pulled myself away from people. It was awful. It was awful. And so when I got around Sarah Ward, it was like that energy is what I wanted, and yet I wasn't there. And I'm like, well, if what she's doing is getting her there, then I want to get there. It's been an amazing journey. It's been just so much fun, challenging myself, seeing my capabilities, finding my self-worth. Written a bit of a book on my journey here at O2 Fuel. It got my head up and out of my situation into the possibility of living with possibilities again. The most influential and the part that I love the most about this is teaching me how to prepare for the week, nutrition guidelines. That's been a huge, just being able to default back to that booklet and the books that are available in there. It's just the motivation to why I'm doing what I'm doing and the goals that we've been setting. And another one is the roadblock homework that was in there. There was just so many that I've done it 3 times, and every time I dig a little bit deeper. I get a little bit more personal. It's been those videos. Yeah, they've been a life changer for me. I didn't know that people could control what they ate and how it controlled their body and appearance. I went a couple weeks with eating exactly what was in the 6-week videos for nutrition, and my stomach went flatter, and I was like, wow, what you eat actually does affect your body and how you look. Nutrition has just been I've been so curious about what different things are and do. And I went to my eye doctor and she said, what are you doing? You've gone from being a 0.5 to a 0.25, which is improved. I said, well, I eat a lot of egg whites and spinach and things like that because that's part of the nutrition plan. She's like, oh, those are key things to improving your eyes. I was like, yes, didn't even know that. I think less about my next step. I've lost the fear of hurting myself again, and I'm getting more and more confident. Even after the first year, I still didn't have that confidence. It's only actually been like the last 3 or 4 months that it's really displayed itself in my day-to-day. Some of the mindset changes are just having the confidence to do things, to try things again. The mindset of having self-worth, to walk into a room and know that I'm looking after myself. Because that was one of the things when I hit that fear point and when I hurt my shoulder, I started to gain weight. And I don't think I gained that much weight, but it was enough mentally to say, Dee, you're not worth being in this room. And so I just stopped going into rooms where people were. I stopped being that energy that attracted people to me. And so the mindset of coming here, I've brushed that aside and I've overcame that fear and that thought process, and I've told myself a different story. I've written a different story about who I am, what I can do. So it's been a huge mindset shift. I'm worth being well. That's a story I tell myself all the time. I've learned so much about nutrition and fitness, actual day-to-day knowledge, that I'm excited to share it with people. And so then I'm excited to share my story. So no longer is that loop of, Dee, you're a loser. Dee, you can't even walk. You can't even, look at what happened. You fell and you hurt your shoulder and you can't even work. And that story is done. And now it's, who can I encourage and who's coming with me and who can I take with me and who can I go with on this journey? Be careful, because you're going to change. Make sure that's what you want, because you are going to, you show up every day and put in the time and watch the videos and put them into practice and live in this community, you're going to get better. You're going to be a better version of yourself. Yeah, be ready for that. I was not ready for that. I did not expect that at all. That it was going to be such a positive influence in my life, and that it was going to be such a game changer for work, for family, for entertainment. Now I can go out and it's not about food and alcohol, and you can actually go out and have fun without those elements, or bringing in those elements in a very safe way. That's probably been my favorite part, but I would never have thought that was going to be part of this transformation. I never dreamt that was going to be part of it. To the person that in November of 2023, I would just say thank you so much for taking a chance on me. Thank you so much for investing in me and putting in, allowing her to put in the money and the time to make life so much better.